Hello, I'm Amelia Reynolds. A crucial council meeting degenerated into chaos today when it was invaded by protesters. The meeting was called to agree this year's budget for Norfolk County Council, but was abandoned while police were called in. We'll hear from one of the protesters after this from our political correspondent, Andrew Sinclair.
It was 5 to 10 and councillors were preparing for this morning's meeting when this happened.
Power to the people. Power to the people. People have power.
25 protesters had entered the chamber. Councillors looked on in bemusement. Eventually the chair called for order, but she couldn't make herself heard. And they kept on singing.
It's a peaceful protest about climate change and about councils, local councils doing something about that. And it's people standing up for their children and their children's children.
The meeting was adjourned. Councillors left the chamber.
I think it's an affront to democracy, really. We're elected to do a job, and here we are, where this is preventing the meeting from happening. If we have no budget, we'll end up like America, where nothing can happen.
Well, this protest has been going on for more than an hour now, and there's no sign of the protesters intending to give up. I understand the police are just outside the building, and the councillors are very determined that this meeting has to go ahead today, because if it doesn't, no other council in Norfolk can set its council tax. The group calls itself Extinction Rebellion, opposed to climate change and a planned extension to the ring road around Norwich.
We're getting extreme weather events. We're going to hit food shortages soon and things like that.
But does action like this really work? Wouldn't it be better to keep quietly lobbying and talking to people and trying to win them over?
I've done that for 20 years.
A councillor tried to persuade them to go, but they wouldn't move. So the police came in, and we were all told to leave. Some of the protesters decided enough was enough, but some didn't, and 4 were arrested. After 4¼ hours, the meeting got underway. Outside, the protesters celebrated their morning's work. Andrew Sinclair, BBC Look East, Norwich.
Well, Green campaigner Rupert Read helped organise that protest. I asked him if he was proud of today's scenes.
I think it was really amazing. For 4 hours, we stopped a meeting of Norfolk County Council, which was going to put money into this terrible road project they want to build. I think the protesters who did this today, my colleagues in Extinction Rebellion, I think they're heroes.
But Rupert Read, you have been in politics. We have talked for many years now with your various roles in local politics. Surely you are an advocate of democracy, and democracy today you interrupted.
I think the sad truth is, Amelia, that, and I think everyone knows this, our democracy is failing. The UN tells us we have 12 years to halve our carbon emissions worldwide. Norfolk County Council plans to build a road that will increase our carbon emissions. It just doesn't add up.
4 arrests today. Are you telling me tonight there will be more protests and more arrests and more council meetings disrupted?
Quite possibly, yes. Every single council that has not declared a climate emergency and that is not acting accordingly is hereby put on notice. We will, if necessary, disrupt you.
Isn't the trouble with protesting like this, though, each time you have to ramp it up? So today the pictures are on the news, you're sitting here talking to me about it, 4 arrests. Next time you're going to have to up the ante. If you're saying that you need people to listen, how far does this go?
Well, we're a completely non-violent organisation, so it always stays within those limits. But yes, you're right. If they won't listen, then we will have to ramp it up.
How do you ramp it up?
Well, we'll disclose that when the time comes.
What?
But
how do you ramp it up, then?
No, I'm
People will be
absolutely serious. You can't
know.
expect me to broadcast what our forthcoming tactics are.
But you have tactics and you have plans, do you? People might say that sounds like a threat.
Well, you can think of it that way if you want. We're saying to councils that are not going to declare a climate emergency, we're putting you on warning. So you face a dilemma. Do you do the right thing, or do you face this kind of protest? And all the councils in the East should be thinking about this issue right now.
Rupert Read, thank you very much.
Thank you.